Hello everyone. Last time we have started with the chapter Chemical Thermodynamics. There we have learnt some basic definitions and nature of work. Today we'll start with the nature of heat. So, heat is a form of energy by which the system exchanges energy with its surroundings. Okay. So, the system and surrounding, if they are having different temperatures, they will exchange heat. Either heat will flow in or it will flow out of the system. Okay, so let's, for example, if I am saying my reaction in the system is a exothermic reaction. Exothermic means heat will be evolved from the reaction. Now once the heat will evolve, what will happen? If it has to cool down, it will exchange the heat with the surrounding, right? So what will happen? The heat will flow from the system to the surrounding. So that is one case. And if it is endothermic, it will be the reverse way. Okay, the heat from the surrounding will get inside the system. So hopefully you understood what will be the nature of heat. Now just for reference, please understand work as well as heat are path functions. That means they depend upon the path followed by the system instead of the initial and the final state. Okay, now we'll see the sign conventions of work and heat. This is very important to understand because problems will be asked based on this, and sometimes they'll directly give you a situation and ask whether work or heat is negative or positive. Okay, so very important. So just for understanding, whatever the energy which will enter the system will be taken as positive, and the energy flowing out of the system will be taken as negative. Once again, whatever the energy which will enter the system is said to be positive, and whatever the energy flowing out of the system is taken as negative. So first we'll see about heat. Now heat is represented by Q. Okay, in the right side you can see plus Q and minus Q is written. Okay, and the box which is there, that is the system. The rest, whatever the space is left, is the surrounding there. Okay, now to start with Q, that is heat. If heat is absorbed by the system, that means energy is flowing inside the system, so it will be positive. Q is positive in that case. Now when heat is evolved out, heat is evolved means it will be, Q will be negative. You can just understand heat absorbed is nothing but endothermic reaction. Heat released is exothermic reaction. So heat absorbed positive, heat released negative. Okay, now to learn about W, that is the work. Okay, now if work is done on the system by the surrounding, work is done what? On the system by the surrounding, then it will be what? Plus, positive sign. Okay, now the reverse way. What is that? The work is done by the system on the surrounding. Now it is by the system on the surrounding. That means who is doing work? The system is doing work on the surrounding. Over here it is negative. Okay, hopefully it is understood. Very important. Okay, whatever the heat, if it enters the system, then it will be treated as positive. If it is leaving out of the system, then it is taken as negative. Okay, so we'll just revise that. Positive Q, heat is absorbed by the system from the surrounding. Negative Q, heat is released by the system to the surroundings. Plus W, work is done on the system by the surrounding. And minus W, work is done by the system on the surrounding. Okay, now we'll see the expression for pressure volume work. Again, this is very important derivation. So we'll start. Now first you have to draw a diagram which is given over here. and explain that diagram. What does that mean? Okay. So we have to first say, consider a certain amount of gas at constant P, which is enclosed in a cylinder, and that cylinder is fitted with frictionless movable piston of area A. Once again, what is taken? In your own words, you can just say, we have taken a cylinder, in that we have taken gas at pressure P, and it is fitted with a frictionless movable piston having area A. Okay. Now V1, which you can see over here, is the initial volume. Okay. At temperature T. Now after some time, what will happen? The gas will start expanding. Okay. And it will give me V2, the final volume of the system, and the distance between V1 to V2 is given by small d. Okay, fine. That means the volume displaced will be nothing but the area into d. Okay, so let's start now. Now understand, on expansion of the gas, what will happen? The force will be exerted by the gas, which will be equal to the area of the piston multiplied by pressure with which the gas pushes the piston. Once again, what is that? The force which is there will be nothing but what? It will be the force which is exerted will be the that means external pressure. It has to give a force against the external pressure. Okay, fine. So we can say that F will be equal to minus P external into A. On expansion, the force exerted by the gas will be equal to the area of the piston multiplied by pressure by which the gas pushes against piston. So simple. What will be F? Equal to minus P external into A. Now why the negative sign in the first expression? Because the work has to be done against the external atmospheric pressure. That's why we write negative over there. Okay. So where P external EXT is the external atmospheric pressure. Now, so if the piston moves out a distance d, then the amount of work done will be equal to force into displacement, right? So we can say that is W is equal to F into d. Now I'll substitute the above equation. What is that? 4.1 in 4.2. So what it will become? W will be equal to, I'm substituting the value of F over here. So it will be minus P external into A into D. Now when you see A into D, A is what? The area of the piston, right? And D is the vertical height. So that is nothing but we can say it's the volume there. Okay. So the product of area of the piston and distance it moves is the volume change, that is delta V in the system. So delta V is nothing but equal to A into D. So I'll replace A into D in 4.3 by delta V. So combining both the equation, what I'll get? W is equal to minus P external into delta V. Okay. Now next equation, it will be W is equal to minus P external. What is delta V? That is change in volume. So I can write it as V2 minus V1, where V2 is the final volume of the gas and V1 is the initial volume of the gas. And see, one more thing, in both the expression it should be P external, EXT. Okay, fine. And this is very important expression which you have to remember. That is W is equal to minus P external into delta V. Okay. Now we'll see different conditions where according to the sign, where will be W positive, negative and 0. Okay. So the first case, when the gas expands, work done by the system on the surroundings. Since V2 is greater than V1, work is negative. Now, how we can explain this? Okay. Now, when gas expands, what happens? V2 will be greater, right? So, in the expression, W is equal to minus P external into delta V, where delta V is equal to V2 minus V1. So over here, what is greater? V2 is greater. Now greater value minus the smaller value, that means I'll get a positive value there for delta V. So W equal to minus P external into some positive value. So plus minus, at the end W will be negative. Okay, understood? So when the gas expands, work done by the system on the surrounding, since V2 is greater than V1. So work is negative in this case. Now second case, when the gas is compressed, what will happen to the volume? V1 will be greater than V2. V1 will be greater than V2. So similarly, in the expression, we will substitute that value. Which expression? W is equal to minus P external into delta V, where delta V is equal to V2 minus V1. Now over here, which is greater? V1 is greater. As a result, smaller value minus negative value. So at the end, the volume will be having, this value will be having a negative sign. So minus P external is also negative, this is also negative. So negative will be positive. Therefore, W will be positive in this case. So when the gas is compressed, work done on the system by the surroundings. Since V1 is greater than V2, work is positive. If you know the sign convention, then it will be easier for you to understand this. Okay, so first learn the sign convention properly. Okay, and the last one, you just imagine we have taken a cylinder and there is no external pressure. Can we say the work is done? Because the gas will just evolve out. We cannot understand the work is done or not. Okay, so in that case where there is no external pressure, we say no work is done by the system. Okay, so no work is done unless the system is linked to the surroundings by external pressure. Now we'll see free expansion. Okay, now what do you mean by free expansion? Whenever expansion is done against zero opposing force, then it is said to be free expansion. Okay, now such kind of system occur in vacuum. Okay, that means what? The work done by the system during such expansion is given by the expression W is equal to minus P external into delta V. Okay, where P ext is equal to 0. Okay, that means if P external is equal to 0, 0 multiplied by delta V is also 0. Okay, hence we can say W is 0 in this case. So no work done when the gas expands freely in vacuum. Hopefully you understood. And in the expression, W is equal to, it will be minus P ext into delta V. Just remember that. Okay. Now we'll see the units of energy and work. Okay. Now over here, 1 joule is equal to 1 kg meter square second raised to minus 2, that is equal to 1 Pascal meter cube. Now how is this possible, right? So now, okay, what is W equal to? W is equal to force into displacement. Okay, that is Newton in Newton meter, right? So what is Newton meter? Newton meter is nothing but equal to kg meter square second raised to minus 2. Okay, so that is nothing but the unit for work. Okay, so 1 joule I can say will be equal to 1 kg meter square second minus 2. Okay, if you just want to find out the unit for work, you can just substitute the value of the unit for force and displacement. Okay, so what you are going to do? What is force? Newton. Now what is Newton equal to? Newton is nothing but mass into acceleration. If you just do it, you will get what it will be. Mass is in kg, acceleration is meter second raised to minus 2. Okay, so kg meter square second minus 2. Okay, since it is multiplied by displacement. Okay, so now this thing is equal to 1 Pascal meter cube. Now from where we are writing this Pascal meter cube? We also know that W is equal to P external into delta V, right? Now if we substitute, for example, W is equal to what? F into D. Now instead of F, if I can also write it as what? Minus P external into A, and that will be into D. Now what is P? What's the unit of P? P is in Pascal, multiplied by A into D. A is meter square into meter will be meter cube. In that form, it will be 1 joule is equal to 1 kg meter square second raised to minus 2, that is equal to 1 Pascal meter cube. Okay, just remember this thing. Now from the above equation, I can say that 1 Pascal will be equal to, I will divide it by meter cube. So the other equation will become 1 Pascal is equal to 1 kg meter square s minus 2 divided by meter cube. So it will be 1 kg meter inverse second raised to minus 2. Okay, now from the equation W is equal to minus P external into delta V, if I suppose pressure is in bar and the volume is in dm cube, then what will be the unit? Okay, the unit will be bar dm cube. Okay, so I can say 1 bar is equal to what? 10 raised to 5 Pascal, which we know. What is that? 1 bar is equal to 10 raised to 5 Pascal. Okay, now I can say what is 1 Pascal equal to from above equation? That is nothing but into kg multiplied by meter inverse into s minus 2. So that I have substituted over here. Now in the next step, I want 1 bar dm cube. That means whatever the equation for 1 bar I got it, I'll multiply it by dm cube. So dm cube multiplied by 10 raised to 5 kg meter raised to minus inverse second minus 2. Okay, now over here I have to change dm cube into meter cube. So it will be multiplied by minus 3, since 1 dm cube is equal to 10 raised to minus 3 meter cube. So I have written meter cube into 10 raised to minus 3 into 10 raised to 5 kg meter inverse second minus 2. So after solving this thing, what I will get? That is equal to 100. Law of indices, 10 raised to 5 into 10 raised to minus 3 is nothing but equal to 10 raised to 2. So that is nothing but 100. So 100 kg meter square second minus 2. Therefore, I can say what is kg meter square seconds minus 2? That is nothing but equal to 1 joule in the first equation. Okay, so I can say 1 dm cube bar is equal to 100 joules. Okay, please learn these conversions. Okay, you have to remember 1 bar equal to 10 raised to 5 Pascal. You have to remember 1 dm cube bar equal to 100 joules, and the first one, 1 joule is equal to 1 kg meter square second raised to minus 2, that is equal to 1 Pascal meter cube. Okay, now we'll learn the concept of maximum work. Work performed by a system is governed by the opposing force P external, because if P external is not there, we say no work is done. Okay, so larger the opposing force, more work is done by the system. Opposing force 0, no work is involved. Okay, when the opposing force becomes greater than the driving force, that time what will happen? The process gets reversed. But for maximum work, we don't want the process to be reversed. So opposing force cannot be greater than the driving force. It should be maximum. Okay, hopefully you understood. What is there? Larger the opposing force, more work is done. But if P external is not there, there is no work possible. So the opposing force should be slightly smaller than the opposing force. The opposing force should be slightly smaller than the driving force. It cannot be greater than the driving force, or else the process will be reversed. Okay. If suppose the pressure of the gas differs from P external by a small quantity delta P, so I can say the difference between both the things is nothing but equal to delta P, that is P minus P external equal to delta P. But we need the value for P external so that we can substitute it in the work expression. So it will be P external is equal to P minus delta P. Now when I substitute this value in the work expression, it will become W is equal to minus P external into delta V. Therefore, instead of P external, I'll substitute the value. So what it will be? W is equal to minus of P minus delta P into delta V. Now over here, for work to be maximum, delta P should be very small. Okay, so what is the condition? For the condition for maximum work, delta P should be the smallest. Okay, and maximum work is obtained from the change which is thermodynamically reversible. Now why we are saying thermodynamically reversible? Because the opposing force must be, what is opposing force? P external must be infinitesimally smaller than the driving force P for the work to be maximum. Now this is required for the what? Process to be reversible. Therefore we say the maximum work is obtained from the change which is thermodynamically reversible. Okay, now whenever it is asked the concept of maximum work, we have to have this expression W is equal to minus P minus delta P into delta V. So just remember, we have to say that the difference between P and minus P and P external is equal to delta P, and substitute the equation of P external from that into the work expression. Once you got the work expression, you will say that for the work to be maximum, delta P will be minimum, and to get that the change which will happen, it should be thermodynamically reversible in nature. Okay, hopefully you understood this. Now we'll learn the expression for maximum work, which is very important derivation. Okay, for this first you will draw the diagram and explain what you can see in the diagram. Okay, for this we'll consider n number of moles of ideal gas is taken in a cylinder which is fitted with a frictionless movable rigid piston. Okay, now this expansion takes place isothermally and reversibly. Very important, this expansion takes place isothermally and reversibly from volume V1 to reach volume V2 at constant temperature. Okay, isothermally means at constant temperature. Okay, now this expansion, as you can see, will take place in number of steps. Okay, now for example, in first case, what I will do, I will take, see, whatever things which are kept on top of the piston is nothing but the small weights. Okay, so that at each time I will remove a small quantity of weight so that there will be change in the volume, which is very small change in the volume dV. Okay. Now during each step the external pressure P external is made infinitesimally smaller than the pressure P of the gas. Okay, that means whatever the P external which is exerted on the gas will be lessened in a smaller quantity. As a result, what will happen? The gas which is inside will slightly expand and it will move from V1 to the next level, that is with the change in small volume dV, and this process will continue, and at each step whenever we will remove one weight, the system will try to attain mechanical equilibrium. Okay, once it attains equilibrium, again I will remove one more weight, same procedure will happen. External pressure is decreased. As a result, what will happen? The pressure inside the gas, it will because of the pressure inside the gas, it will move the piston little bit upwards and it will displace some volume. Okay, and this procedure will continue till it reaches the volume V2. Okay, so I can say the process is repeated in such a way that every time P external is lowered, infinitesimally the gas undergoes a series of infinitesimal increments in volume until the volume V2 is attained. Okay. Now, when the volume of gas increases by an infinitesimal small amount dV in a single step, the small quantity of work done can be given as dW is equal to minus P external into dV. Normal expression was W is equal to minus P external into delta V. Since it is a small change, we will replace the delta with small d. So it will be dW is equal to minus P external into dV. Okay. Now, as the expansion is reversible, okay, P is greater by a very small quantity dP than P external. Thus, similar to concept of maximum work, we can say P minus P external is equal to dP. I want the expression for P external. So, rearranging, I will get P external is equal to P minus dP. Now, I will substitute this value in the above equation. So, what I'll get? dW is equal to minus of P minus dP into dV. That is equal to, now I will multiply. So, it will be minus P into dV minus plus dP into dV. Okay. Now, I can say dP into dV, both are very small quantity. So, that can be neglected in this expression. So, the final expression will be dW is equal to minus P dV. Now, this is for a single step. So, if I want for each of the step and together if I want, then I have to integrate this step. Now, the total amount of work done during entire expansion from volume V1 to V2 can be obtained by integrating between the limits V1 and V2, that is the initial and the final state. Okay, so whatever the maximum work we will be getting, that is during the expansion which is taking place reversibly. Okay, so we can say dW, that is integrating dW between the limits initial and final, that will be equal to minus integration of P dV within the limits V1 to V2. Okay. Now, next step we can say that dW, when we can say each of the work is integrated together, we can say that is the maximum work obtained. So, we can replace that thing as W max, that is equal to the same thing. Okay. Now, we can use this expression of ideal gas law, PV equal to nRT From that I'll get the value of P. Now what is P will be equal to? P will be equal to nRT upon V. So I'll substitute the value of P in the above equation. So what I'll get? I'll get W max is equal to integration of nRT upon V dV, and minus we have taken it out and within the limits V1 to V2. So again nRT is constant, so I'll remove that thing out. So it will be minus nRT integrating within the limits V1 to V2 dV upon V. Now why we have removed nRT out? Because everything is constant. N number of moles, R is constant, and T is also constant as it is isothermal. Okay. Next we can say minus nRT integration from of V1 to V2. Okay, ln V1 to V2. Okay. So next step what we'll get? Minus nRT higher limit minus lower limit, that is ln V2 minus ln V1. So we know that ln A minus ln B is nothing but ln A upon B. So next step we can write it as that is equal to minus nRT ln V2 upon V1. And ln, if we want to replace by log to the base 10, then I have to multiply by the factor 2.303. So the final equation will become W max is equal to minus 2.303 nRT log to the base 10 V2 upon V1, which is very important, and you have to by heart this equation, and sums will be asked based on this equation. Now if I want to replace V2 upon V1 by the pressure, then we know that at constant pressure by Boyle's law we can say P1 V1 equal to P2 V2. So I can say V2 upon V1 will be equal to P1 upon P2. So I'll substitute the value in the above equation, that is 4.10. I'll get the value as W max equal to minus 2.303 nRT log P1 upon P2. So this both the equation we have to learn it nicely. What are the equation here we have derived? W max equal to minus 2.303 nRT log to the base 10 V2 upon V1, and in terms of pressure it will be W max equal to minus 2.303 nRT log to the base 10 P1 upon P2. Okay, so hopefully you understood. Please write and practice these derivations. 2 derivations we have seen today. Okay, so do practice this nicely and learn the formulas. Next class we'll start with internal energy. Okay then, bye.